Dude, I got a story.
Daytona. You don't have a story about Daytona. You weren't there.
No, but I have a story about me. If you see me grimace today.
What, did you get hurt?
Tyler, I broke a rib.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, this is a true story.
What were you doing?
So, long story short, because people don't like, I went on a slip and slide. And you know how like you hit
We need evidence for this.
No, this is true. You know how you hit a slip and slide? Like you hit it, like, I don't know if you see me, but like you hit and then you push off and then you slide.
Uh-huh.
Well,
So
Jimmy,
you're not very athletic.
Jimmy went full speed and I was parallel to the ground, probably like 2 feet. Bam! Landed on my rib, knocked the wind out of me.
You broke a rib, you said?
It's literally broke. Like it's broken. knocked the wind out of me. I couldn't breathe all night long. I went to the doctor. They don't do anything for broken ribs but tell you to quit being a freaking wuss. I literally can't. I breathe. I cough. If I sneeze, it all hurts.
Been there, done that. You got to go to a chiropractor.
For a broken rib?
Yeah.
Really?
They can put it back in place.
Literally, it's miserable. So, yeah.
Okay.
Rough.
Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of King of the Court. We are your hosts, Tyler and
Jimmy Miller, the one and only.
Jimmy Miller.
I was just looking at our title sponsor.
All right. We have a lot to talk about today. So thank you for tuning in. If you are watching, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us be able to break our ribs on slip and slides.
I feel like I should have wore a mask today since you've been in Daytona.
Why is that?
I just feel like you haven't been detoxed yet.
Detox. Daytona is a place.
Daytona is...
It's all the hype lives up to.
Yeah, like I'm not wrong about Daytona.
So we were
right?
driving with the team at, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock at nighttime, and I'm not joking.
Not safe.
Pitch black. And all of a sudden, this guy on a scooter, like one of those mopeds, just pulls out of like nowhere. I barely saw him, and I had to swerve away from hitting him.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, they all think they're at the Speedway, and they're all high on drugs. It's crazy.
All right, let's get into it. Thank you to the title sponsor of this show, which is the Pickler.
The Pickler.
We love the Pickler. We actually just filmed a commercial with them, or an ad.
Yeah.
With them, and so go check that out if you haven't seen it. Jimmy, he might leave us for Hollywood. His acting skills are on point.
I feel like they were pretty good. Tyler, big news for the Pickler. Massive news.
Okay.
Number one, 2 brand new clubs are opening.
One of them is near us, right?
And yes, Wheaton.
Okay.
And the one that you and I are probably most excited for.
Yes, a new studio.
The Pickler Lehigh.
Yes.
Both of those are opening June 21st. Massive grand openings. They're going to have pickleball, obviously. Prizes. They're going to do events. They're going to have food trucks. Yep. Food trucks. So if you haven't been to a Pickler grand opening, check it out. I believe I will be there. Mm-hmm. Will you be there?
Possibly.
You will be in San Clemente?
Yes, but it's progressive. So if I do not make it to a semifinal, then I should be there.
So as your friend, I hope that you are not there.
Yes.
Because that means you had a successful week. Mm-hmm. But as a pickleball fan, I think some of us hope that you are there.
Okay.
That fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
The chances might be kind of high that I'll be there. So
why? You don't like your partners?
No, I love my partners, but one of them is a new one. Men's doubles, it's a new one. And
who's men's doubles?
Spencer Smith. He's really good.
So an old but new.
The only issue is he hasn't had much success on the PPA tour, and so our seed going into it will not be great.
So maybe Spencer Smith can come too. He lives in Lehigh.
Exactly.
And Lane Sleeth?
Lane Sleeth, yes, mixed doubles. And also
trained.
singles.
Lane is... she's got a newfound focus.
What is it, tennis?
No, I'm just saying that the distractions are out of her life. I'll just leave it at that.
Wow.
Kind of like Paris and Hunter. All right, so Pickler, congrats to our title sponsor. We love them. If you guys want to...
I'm playing with her for like the next few months.
Lane?
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
She's great. I love Lane. She's on my team.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lane she plays at the Pickler.
Does she?
No, but she will when she's in Utah for MLP Salt Lake.
Okay.
But yes, Pickler Lehigh, Pickler Wheaton. Where's Wheaton? Illinois?
I was just about to say Illinois. It sounds like Illinois.
I think it's Wheaton, Illinois. So I want to make sure. Hang on.
Okay. If you haven't been to a grand opening for a Picklr and you're not a member, go check it out. They're a lot of fun. It's free pickleball. There's a lot of activities going on, as Jimmy said.
Illinois, we're good.
And yeah, it's just a great community to be a part of. Even if you don't get a membership, you can go play free pickleball and have a great time with your family.
191 Rice Lake Square.
Wheaton and Rice.
Wheaton. 191 Rice Lake Square, Wheaton, Illinois.
Okay. If you're interested in starting your own franchise, being a business owner of yourself, with friends, go check them out at Picklr.com and tell them that the guys at KOTC sent you.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Jimmy, we have a new sponsor, and one that is actually near and dear to me, Picklecon.
Why is it near and dear to you, Tyler?
Because many years ago, I had this incredible idea. I said, you know what should happen is there should be one time throughout the year where all the pickleball companies get together, all the players get together, and it's just like essentially like a festival, kind of like US Open, but a little bit more business oriented with more vendors, more activities and stuff like that. And lo and behold, a couple of years later, Picklecon comes out and they host their first event. So last year, I believe, was their first event for Picklecon. Yeah. It's in Kansas City.
Kansas City at the Kansas City Convention Center.
Yep.
August 7th through 10th. Mm-hmm. They have between 75 and 100 courts.
75 and 100 courts. That's quite a few courts.
80 plus vendors. Mm-hmm. And they're expecting over 3,000 pickleball enthusiasts.
Yes.
I just want to give an idea of what Picklecon. This is just one day. This is just Thursday, the opening day. Mm-hmm. 8 to 6 p.m. they have open play. From 8 to 5 you can get your duper coaching certification. From 10 to 5 they have clinics. From 10:30 to 5:15 they have panels. So you have questions, you have comments, you want to start your own business.
Yep.
In pickleball. Do you want to start a pickleball drop shop, whatever it is. 3 to 5, they're doing an appreciation event. And then from 6 to 9, glow in the dark kickoff party.
Yeah.
Picklecon is rad. Are we going?
If we're able to make it, we might have other activities going on at that time. But I went there last year. I was there in person, and it was really fun.
They're going to have NJP doubles will be there. They're doing, Tyler, Saturday, August 9th from 12 to 1. Puppy yoga.
Puppy yoga?
Yeah.
Will you be there?
I will go for puppy yoga 100%. So, check it out. You can get your tickets. Picklecon.
Downward doggy.
Downward dog. Picklecon.com. They actually have a registration link.
Yes.
They've teamed up with the National Junior Pickleball Association. Mm-hmm. I actually went to one of the NJP events this weekend.
Yep.
We should talk about that.
Okay.
So NJP. Mm-hmm. It's actually ran by our boy Jack's mom, Courtney.
Okay.
There were amateurs from all over the country. They're juniors, not amateurs.
And this was held in Orem, Utah.
In Orem. Yep. So they hold multiple events. They just did one in Maryland, I think.
Okay.
This one was in Orem. They do a singles. They do doubles. They do mixed, all separate days. They do a money ball so these kids can win money. Mm-hmm. And then they finish it off with an MLP format.
Lots of pickleball.
A lot of pickleball. And the one thing that I just want to say is the talent level is insane, dude.
Could they beat you?
Yeah, well, 100% they could beat me. But you know some of these kids, though. I mean, Elsie Hendershot is 12 years old. Mm-hmm. She's incredible.
Yep.
Jackson Madsen, I would say that. So Braden Jacobson's very good player. Andrew Caldarella, you've played with him, right? Mm-hmm. Those two. Jackson Madsen he's older, a couple years older, I think.
Yeah, yep. I played with him.
Smooth.
He's got some good reach.
Yeah, I think that these kids, Danny Phillips.
Yep.
So Allie and Livy Phillips were there cheering on their little brother. I actually played against Danny Phillips in a tournament 3 years ago. Now he would smack me. Mm-hmm. But just the level of talent is pretty incredible. Super fun to watch. And I think that these are the kids that started playing pickleball at 6, 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And now they're growing up in the sport. And, I'm going to compare it a little bit to, I don't know if you watched the French Open over the weekend. I'm sure you did a little bit, but you're mm-hmm. probably playing.
We were playing, yeah.
The level between Alcaraz and Sinner compared to, Joe Schmo at the park, right, is massively different. I mean, outrageously different. And I don't think we have that in pickleball yet. But with these kids coming up, I think that's where we're going to see it, right? Because those guys have been playing tennis since what? They're 6 years old.
Yeah.
Grinding 7 hours a day.
Yep.
They're Rafael Nadal was literally saying that if you're not suffering, you're not getting better.
Yep.
I think that that's where pickleball is going to elevate.
Okay. Would love to see it.
Yeah.
Another 5-10 years.
One way to go watch these kids, Picklecon.
Picklecon, thank you for the support. Like I said, it is an incredible environment. You get to play, and then also there's so many other activities that you get to check out.
Also, Kansas City, there's a lot of good
There's
pros.
good food.
And there's good pros from Kansas City.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Pat Smith.
Yes. He's the number 1 MLP player right now.
Did you know I just discovered this today because I'm not smart, but his Instagram handle is Roos, ROOS 09. And I never understood it. And then I realized he went to Kansas City, Missouri, University of Kansas City, Missouri, and they're the Roos, the Kangaroos.
There you go.
And I'm guessing he graduated in 09.
Okay.
That makes all the sense in the world. You know who else went there?
Who else?
Yana Newell.
Yes, I think I knew that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Also,
Useless trivia.
Last but not least for now is we have a code, a KOTC code for all MLP and PPA events if you are there spectating. Some of these events are starting to sell out pretty quickly. And so if you're interested in getting the best price possible, use our code because sometimes they shut it off as it gets closer to the event.
I actually heard San Clemente the weekend is about sold out.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you would like to register events, the code also works.
Yep.
So if you want to play amateur events, you can use our code as well.
Yep.
So.
Okay, Jimmy, let's get into it. So MLP Daytona,
Tyler,
your favorite place.
Yeah, you were there.
Why were you not there?
You obviously came away unscathed, thankfully. Maybe not without scabies, but you came away unscathed in terms of you're here and alive. So that's a win.
A big win.
I would say let's talk winners and losers for the weekend.
Okay. So once again, there were no challenger teams, only premier teams.
Only premier teams.
What, 7 or 8 premier teams?
Yeah. So there's no challenger teams. So yeah, I kind of wrote down a list of my winners and my losers.
Real quick, this is about midway through the season. Kind of half. Most matches are done for a lot of these teams.
I feel like the playoffs are starting to take shape. There are 1 or 2 spots that are still going to be debated, and maybe we'll see some shifting amongst seeding.
Okay.
But I would say that our top 10 at this point are pretty clear.
Okay.
So my number 1 winner of the weekend, Tyler.
Me?
No. LA Mad Drops.
LA Mad Drops.
LA Mad Drops went undefeated. They did not lose a match this weekend.
Okay.
They knocked off the previously undefeated St. Louis Shock. They had
in a dream breaker.
Yep. They had wins over the Ranchers. They had a win over you guys.
No, we didn't.
Oh, sorry. A win over SoCal.
Yep.
A win over Carolina, I believe.
And once again, to reiterate who's on the team, you have Catherine Parento, Jade Kawamoto, Kwong, and then Hunter Johnson.
Yes. And again, we already spent the entire last episode glazing her, but Jade Kawamoto is incredible. She was, once again...
She's the lefty, right?
She is...
Number 1 lefty.
Number 1 lefty in pickleball.
For sure.
According to Cindy, and Cindy is never wrong.
Yep.
She literally is phenomenal. And I don't know what happened. Jade's always been a great player. She's not underrated. Calling her underrated is actually like a slap in the face to her. I think both of them, Jade and Jackie, neither one are underrated. I think that I don't think if a pro sees them in their draw, they're happy. You know what I'm saying? But dude, she is playing insane pickleball right now. Probably the best pickleball of her career.
Okay.
Her and Catherine.
How old are they?
28.
Okay.
So they're still pretty young.
So 2 more years until they hit that 30, and Klaus will put them in
once you hit 30, it's all downhill according to Jim Klaus. You actually cannot improve after 30, which is crazy. You have not improved since you turned 30.
I've actually gotten worse, to be honest.
You know what's crazy is Tina Pisnik was better at pickleball
when she wasn't playing.
When she wasn't playing, than she is right now, according to Klaus. So, anyways.
Okay.
Anyways, huge fan of Jade. I thought Jade was incredible this week, and I thought their whole team. So they had a match where literally Hunter drove every single ball. Mm-hmm. They're kind of joking that they're their last down to this mad drives now, not the drops. You have Kwong and Hunter, they're going to try and hit it through you. Mm-hmm. Catherine's playing great. So that's my number one winner. My number two winner, Utah Black Diamonds versus the New Jersey Fives.
Okay.
The biggest upset. 1,
2, 3.
It's got to be the biggest upset of the season.
I think so, yeah. A little bit lucky because Meg Dazan was not feeling well, and so she subbed out that day. And so right when that happened, that was the best chance Utah would ever get at beating them. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so, I think that, we need to talk a little bit about AL. I still thought she played well. I thought that she really played hard.
I thought in her women's doubles, which they won, New Jersey won.
12-10.
They were down most of the game, almost all of the game until the very end. But I actually thought she was going to take over a little bit more than she actually did. I mean, she still played phenomenal, but she wasn't being ultra aggressive in that she was coming over to Krista's side as much.
Yeah, I think that goes with her, trying to let Krista know that she trusts her. Mm-hmm. And that obviously she's going to let her do her thing.
Okay. So tell us about it. So we got off to a 0-2 start.
Yeah. So you guys lost 13-11, and then the men
was,
they beat you 11-0.
Yep.
In that 11-0 match, obviously the guys out there who are calling Will Howes a top 8 player were just smiling ear to ear. Mm-hmm. So now you get to mix and you think, okay, New Jersey, AL is going to win her mixed match.
Yep.
And Elise and Connor Garnett beat AL and Will House 11-8.
And Annalie is by far the number one women's player in the entire world.
Yeah, it's not even close. Yeah, and her and Will have been a great mixed team. Mm-hmm. So they beat them 11-8. We get to the last mixed match. Now, look, we'll be very honest. You and Jeannie have not had extreme success in mixed.
Yes.
There has been a few times that you've played up 3-0. There have been a couple times you played down 3-0. But overall, you guys haven't had great success.
Yep.
And you're taking on Zane and Krista, who, again, it's Krista, not Megan, which I think was a little bit of an advantage for you. But you guys played, that was as well as I think you've played in mixed all year.
Yeah, it was one of our better matches.
You won 11-5. Mm-hmm. So we go to Dreambreaker, and I'm following the message boards and Twitter and all the pickleball fans, and everyone's like, "Well, congrats to Utah, but New Jersey's unbeatable in a Dreambreaker. They're built. This team is built to basically AL wins both of her matches, and then we beat you in a Dreambreaker. Mm-hmm. If our men win or our second mixed win, then great. But we know we're gonna at least get 2-2 with Annalie.
Yep."
And so you go to Dreambreaker, and Tyler, Connor Garnett,
4-0.
4-0, Will House. Tyler.loong,
4-0.
4-0, Zane Navertil. Boom.
Yeah.
AL, 4-0 on Elise Jones.
Yeah.
To get back in it.
I think it was 3-1.
Was it 3-1?
I think 3-1.
Okay, well, she got him back in it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Jeannie holds serve against Krista. Mm-hmm. We circle back to the top. Mm-hmm. And Connor Garnett blasts Will Howes again.
Yeah.
You versus Zane, you blast him as again.
We'll go with that.
What was it? 3-1?
It was 3-1 or 2-2. I can't remember.
But, again, you maintain it.
Yeah.
So, end of the day, you guys win 21-13. Which is a beatdown in a rally scoring Dreambreaker. That is a beatdown.
Yeah.
Big win for Utah.
Yeah.
In fact, I felt like at the end, you guys didn't even really celebrate. Mm-hmm. You were excited, but I don't know, it was an interesting, subdued celebration.
Yeah.
Huge win.
There were a group of Utah fans that traveled out there.
I saw that.
From Utah, and they were wearing Utah shirts. It was pretty epic. And so maybe they were the reasons that we won. We need more fans.
You do. I mean, when you guys play in Salt Lake, it's going to be hopping for
Yes,
sure.
that is for sure.
So that's the first, I believe that's the first bottom 8 team beating a top 8 team of the season. So the first like big upset. So that was huge. And right before that match, by the way, LA had upset St. Louis in a Dream Breaker. Mm-hmm. I would say on paper, you would probably expect St. Louis overall to be the better Dream Breaker team because their women are probably better. Mm-hmm. And LA won 21-12.
Mm-hmm. LA is a tough Dream Breaker team.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think, again, it goes to, when your fourth woman, Jade, goes 4-0 on Anna Bright or 3-1, I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So that was a huge win. I want to talk a little bit about, so we'll move on to the next day. So the next day, you guys start off with St. Louis.
Yes.
Probably not the results you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the exact scores. I mean, they're a tough team.
Yeah.
I think
St. Louis had a chip on their shoulder. They
yeah.
were mad they got beat by LA the day before.
Yeah.
Anna Bright kind of made a comment after they lost about how, like, they haven't played in a few weeks. LA just played. Mm-hmm. Do you think that makes a difference?
I mean, I'm sure it helps, but that going in, and so you should go practice with your team or practice with yourself or whatever it is to get ready for that.
Yeah.
And it was the second day too. Wait, no, was that the first day that they lost?
They lost the first day.
Okay. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, we have kind of an interesting match that happened that I think shocked most people. Texas versus Carolina.
Okay.
So most people, I think, have the Ranchers in their top 4 probably at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're right there on the cusp. They're a really good team.
I think their staff on the team, their employees or whatever you want to call them, they might have the most on their team.
It's huge.
They travel with it.
Oh, they have
like
an entourage.
10 to 15 people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have like a director they have like a COO, a CEO. They have a full entourage.
Like a social media
coach,
and assistant to the assistant.
Yeah, they have an assistant to the coach.
Yeah.
An assistant coach.
Yeah.
They have a GM. Yeah, they travel with a freaking squad.
Yeah.
So they play Carolina, and no surprise, Etta and Tina beat Tammy and KK. Mm-hmm. And then Christian and Eric just blow out Ben and Colin 11-2. Mm-hmm. So you're like, all right, Ranchers are going to pick up the dub. But Carolina in mixed comes back and they win. Ben and Tammy win 11-7. And then Colin Johns,
best mixed player in the world,
picks up a mixed win.
Uh-huh.
And they go to Dream Breaker, and Carolina 21-12 in the Dream Breaker.
Yeah.
Another Dream Breaker just beat down.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty incredible. And then we had the match of the weekend.
Okay.
SoCal Hard Eights against New York Hustlers. Just kidding. Nobody cares about that.
Corey, he might be the best GM.
I love Corey.
He wasn't there, though.
I do want to talk about this because I think this is important. This is one of my losers, but I want to talk about this a little bit, okay? So the Hustlers are owned by Jason Stein. Mm-hmm. Jason Stein is on the UPA board, right? He is very instrumental. He's put a lot of money into this merger. Jason Stein is one of the guys that literally can single-handedly decide if this MLP is going to be successful, right? Carolina is owned by Tom Dundon. Tom Dundon owns UPA. Again, one of the guys who single-handedly can decide if this is going to be successful, right? The Utah Black Diamonds, Connor Pardo is the owner, okay? Now, in your defense, you guys did have people on your bench for a couple days, but on Sunday you did not, right?
Correct, yeah.
So you did have a couple days, and so again, this one could be a little bit of a gray area. Maybe they left early, whatever. But there was at least one day with Utah, New York the entire time, and Carolina the entire time, where they did not have a coach, a staff member, anything on their bench. Literally just the 4 or the members of their team. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes whatever. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that that's a bad look for the league? Do you think that it's a bad look that the 3 of the guys that are actually running the league aren't putting in the effort on their bench? Do you think? I mean, I'm just curious.
Optically speaking, it's probably not the best look. However, I think.
Do we need 17 people like the Ranchers? Maybe not, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would. I mean, I'm not watching it on TV when you guys are, and so maybe it looks different. But I feel like Utah, at least, the bench players, or when they're not playing, they're engaged. They're cheering on their team, and so it looks somewhat energetic and everything like that. But these other teams, they might not have the same energy, and so it looks really lonely out there.
And like I said, with Utah, the other thing like with Utah is that you did have...
Yeah, we did have a couple people for a couple days.
For a couple days. Yeah. So that one probably a little bit different. But New York hasn't had anybody for 2 straight tournaments. Mm-hmm. Carolina hasn't had anybody for 2 years.
Yeah.
Carolina hasn't had anyone since they're the Seattle Pioneers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and I just feel like, you know, I think it's a bad look, my own personal opinion. I think that, you know, like if we're going to do a team sport, right, like, you know, you can send a manager, you can send a coach, you can send somebody there, right? I mean, you know, I remember last year, you know, hearing that Ben was booking his team's Airbnbs and, right, like he was taking care of all that. And, you know, Carolina was trying to have or Seattle at the time was trying to have their team wear the Ernie Brown shirts from Pickleball Central, being like, just go get them out of the Pickleball Central tent. And I just think that there needs to be more of an investment. And I will say this, MLP does have a rule. Maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this, but I believe they call it the minimum standard requirement, which is what the minimum.
And I feel like they're elevating that more and more every single tournament.
They are. And I think it's called the minimum, maybe it's the minimum expectation, whatever it is, they do have a minimum requirement that they expect of owners. And, you know, they kind of send out those minimum standards like, hey, these are the expectations. And for the most part, most owners are hitting that, and they're, you know, they're doing very well with that. And I think that that's a very smart thing that Samin's doing to elevate that. But some owners are not.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the owners that are not are guys that you would expect or hope to be the ones that were all in.
Yeah.
Right? Like you'd expect them to be. And look, I do want to say this. I think that Utah's way, way, way night and day different this year than last year. I think they're way more invested this year. And I think it shows on your team, right?
Yeah, for
Made
sure.
some good trades. You guys have some sponsors. You guys, right? I think that, and I don't think people realize this, but Connor Pardo is actually very competitive. And if you ever want something, here, let me tell you guys a pro tip. If you ever want something from Connor Pardo, text him after a Utah win.
Don't do that because all the players are already going to be texting him.
But yeah, I just feel like the rest of it, though, I think it's a bad look. So one of my other losers is going to be the ownership group of Carolina and New York.
Gotcha. Jimmy, real quick, this is a very side tangent, but it just reminded me. I need you to close your eyes. I got you a gift.
You stop.
I got you a gift.
Just remember, I have a bad rib.
Which side is it?
Don't.
All right. Eyes still closed?
Yeah. I'm nervous.
All right. We know how much you love Daytona.
Can I
So we
open
got
up?
some drugs for you.
Oh my, incredible. Incredible. Why does it smell like that? Dude, I'm gonna rock this.
We got you a Daytona shirt.
Look at this. How's it look? I'm a big Daytona fan. Huge. That's the nicest thing you've ever done for me.
I know. I had to pay with it with my own money. I didn't.
Wait, you did?
No 5-finger discount. Nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Should just have one of those homeless guys steal it for you.
Yeah, actually. So
That's
there
really
you go.
nice.
You better wear it.
I am. I'm going to wear it to San Clemente.
Okay.
All right. So now we got to get to the elephant in the room.
All right.
John's Brothers.
Okay. Real quick, let's take a pause and give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is C&D Pickleball Nets. We love their nets. We talk about them every single time. They've been with us from the very beginning of this podcast. Go check them out at bestpickleballnets.com. They have a new, more economical net that retails at $15.99, but still provides and delivers the best quality possible. We love C&D. Honestly, best nets out there. It elevates your playing experience so much more, and it gets you very close to what professional tournaments will be like. So if you're interested in playing in a professional tournament and you have not yet, they use these types of nets.
Yeah, I mean, look, C&D is the best. They're great people. They come out with incredible nets, incredible quality. Did you know that they will actually custom paint?
Yes, you can do whatever color, whatever color you want. Yeah.
Richie has a pink one.
A pink one
for the
yes,
Black Bears.
For the Black Bears, yeah.
Yeah, and it's insane. Like,
is it on his driveway or does he have a pickleball court?
He just says just on his driveway. Yeah, that's what.
How's the color holding up?
Incredible. Like, I mean, it looks like it's brand new, fresh out of the box. Yeah,
incredible. So, and how long has he had it?
Over a year now.
Yeah. So thank you, C&D, for the sponsorship of this pod. We love your nets and love your product. Go check them out and support them and use code KOTC. It supports us and gets you the best price possible. They also do work with clubs, churches, gyms if you're ordering multiple nets.
Yeah, or bulk, right? You want to look. There's a million of people out there right now who are starting their own pickleball facilities, whether that's with the Pickler or independent. And you want people to come to your facility. I think I mentioned this once before, but I talked to somebody who runs another multiple facilities.
Okay.
And he said, one of the things he said is that, everybody's rushing and everybody's trying to hurry and everyone's trying to be first to market, but they're missing the details. And as soon as somebody comes along that hits those details that's better, you're going to lose those customers. And the nets matter. Whether you think it does or it doesn't, the nets matter.
Yep.
And so you got to pull out all the stops because people do care about these things.
Yep.
So C&D.
Thank you. All right, go check them out. All right, back to what you were saying. We have to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah. So Ben and Colin Johns. Look, we talk about them a lot. We know how they feel if you know how they feel about MLP. I mean, they hate it. It is what it is. But this is my thought on it. Okay, they
hate losing.
They hate losing, and they don't understand team sports.
Do I need leave for this?
No. It's okay. They think that the best.
How many hot takes are you going to have?
No, they just think that the best players should play with the best players, and it's not the job of a top player to elevate a player who they feel is beneath them. Okay. We have seen AL is able to do that, right? I think AL elevated Will. I think she elevated Mari. I think she's elevated Krista for the most part. But Ben has not shown the ability to do that. I think that maybe the narrative is shifting at this point, that maybe Ben is only good because he plays with top players.
I don't think that narrative has shifted.
I mean, tell me how I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Who has Ben won with that's not a top player?
Anyone he plays with in PPA for the most part.
Do you don't think that his partners have been top players?
They have been. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So who else?
I mean, you could say that about anybody, though. Nobody has won with a...
Was Mari Humberg a top player? When...
I think women's is a little bit different.
I'm just asking. Like, I think that there's players out there that elevate.
Sure.
So, look.
He won with Eric Lang. He won with myself.
You were finishing third every single tournament.
Eric Lang.
Okay. Eric Lang's a good one. Okay, look. Here's my thought. Okay. My legitimate thought. I thought Ben came out and I thought Ben actually tried. Okay. So I think that he gets some effort at the beginning. As soon as he realized in a match that he didn't feel like he could win, he shut it down. Right? If he felt like he could win, he still put forth the effort. Okay? Colin, on the other hand, is just bad at pickleball. You can argue that all you want, but he's just bad. He's not good. And I don't think Colin put forth much effort. And there's a lot of things that, we heard from a fan, actually, in the Discord. Your guy.
Not my guy.
He told us that literally Colin is turning around talking about how bad his teammates suck in the middle of games. Talking about how you got...
I actually did not hear that on court, though.
Yeah, but he said he heard it from the stands.
Yeah.
And Colin's saying that, you have an entire court open. Why would you hit it there? And he's literally muttering, like the fans can hear him. And then I guess this guy actually said, now you know how Ben feels when he plays with you, which is kind of funny.
I did not hear him say that either.
But my point is I just don't think Colin is very good. And so Ben, I feel like put forth some effort, but then by the end of the weekend, he mailed it in. I mean, he lost 11-0 in mixed. And what was their men's loss?
Hey, we lost 11-0 in men's.
Yeah, but then you guys came back and won the mixed. So somehow you guys did it. Was today the 9th?
Yes.
All right. So they lost. It's the last match of the day, right?
That was against the Fives, right?
Yeah. So they won. The men won 11-8, Ben and Colin, and then they turned around and lost 11-0, 11-1 in the 2 mixed matches. And I really think that it was like almost them proving a point. Like these girls aren't good enough to play with us. They're not good teammates. They're just not. That's just who they are. They're not nice people. This isn't a one-off. This is anybody who has played with them in MLP has the same experience.
I don't.
Well, that's because you're still kissing Ben's ass, hoping he makes that phone call because he wants a lefty. But
you're telling me there's a chance.
But I promise you that people that were on his team last year, and I don't know what you do about it because, like I said, I think that he did try for a minute. But if Carolina cared, you freaking kick Colin off that team because Colin's terrible. He's not even good, right? You make moves, but I don't think Carolina's even going to make any moves. I think they're just going to sit there and it is what it is.
As bad as it is, I mean, as I said, it's kind of halfway through the season. And so for the bottom, call it 4 teams, like there's no chance for them to make it to the playoffs if that's their goal.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want, they're like, sweet, I don't have to go to San Diego or New York or wherever it is, right? But it's just, again, I feel like it might not be like totally an effort level thing with Ben at this point. Because I do think, dude, he was dripping in sweat. He was taking 90% of the court a lot of the time.
I'm going to glaze him right now, as the kids say. I was watching him in some of his mixed doubles when he was doing the 90-95%, and he is still good.
No, of course he's good.
Still insanely good.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Is that we know he's good. We know he's insanely good. We know when he is mailing it in.
Like I was literally fangirling. I was just watching him and I was thinking there's not one other player that could do what he's doing right now and make the quality, the percentage shots that he was.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why.
And I agree with you. That's the main issue and that's what everybody has talked about.
Yeah.
So what's the solution?
Well, Colin's got to go. Really, because I think Colin is an absolute.
I think it's tricky because it's his brother. He feels comfortable with it.
He does feel comfortable, but he is a soul sucker.
Okay.
He sucks the fun out of everything. He's a black hole.
Okay.
And I mean that but Ben will never have the balls to tell Colin. Basically, he's not ever going to call out his brother. Colin's never going to call out Ben, right? And then Ben's also never going to have his brother traded. Because Colin's cashing $20,000 checks every weekend, and Ben doesn't want to take that away from him.
Would he still not cash that if he's on a different team? Because isn't he in a contract?
Yeah, but maybe Ben doesn't think Colin will get picked up. I mean this sincerely. If Carolina cuts Colin Johns, who picks him up?
Somebody picks him up.
No way.
Somebody.
I don't think anyone wants that.
He's still better than challenger teams.
Sure, but do you want his attitude?
People say they won't.
Do you know what effort you're going to get from him?
Who's the toxic players? Russell Westbrook, he's toxic. Kyrie Irving, he's toxic, but people still pick him up.
But they're good. He's not. He's toxic and not good.
He's still better than a lot of the players.
He's not Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook.
No, but he's still better than a lot of the players.
Okay, but what effort is he going to give? Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook still try.
He would be on a team. Whether he plays or not, he would be on a team.
So if a challenger team picks him up, is he going to give more effort in challenger playing with a freaking...
Hey, you could work on some pretty cool trick shots.
Yeah, I guess if you want to make it the Savannah Bananas, maybe Colin can come on and he can drink milk and hit a ball at the same time. I don't know. But that's my point. Do you take a chance on him as a team? One, he's not good enough, even at his peak. Number two, what effort are you going to get? I mean, that's maybe he's a fifth, sixth, and he helps coach, and maybe that's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I don't know Colin. I don't want to be friends with that guy. I actually enjoy being happy. But my point is I do think that Ben tried for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also just like body language matters.
Body language is pretty bad.
And the body language is horrible. Even when he got announced
Mm-hmm.
to come out on Sunday Night Pickleball, and we're under the lights, and we got smoke and drone shows and everything, he came out like this. Like, dude, you don't want to be there. We get it. But you're getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? There's people every single day. There's thousands, hundreds of millions of people in this world that do not like their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But they show up every day and they do it to the best of their ability. And those people are making $50,000, $60,000, $40,000 a year, not $2.5 million.
Yeah.
So shut the hell up. You're hitting a plastic wiffle ball for a living, making $2+ million a year. You can at least smile, right? I don't know. But
I feel like you were a little soft today.
well, I just feel like I will say in his defense, I think he did try
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, me and Connor played them and
I think
we won, but it was close.
I'm telling you, he tried when he felt like he had a chance to win.
Uh-huh.
So when he felt like him and Colin could beat you and Connor,
Mm-hmm.
he put forth effort. When he felt like him and Tammy could beat, SoCal, he put forth the effort.
Did you watch our men's doubles match against them?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see how it ended?
Yeah, the net courts. Yeah, 2 net courts in a row. Did you see memes?
Yes.
They said clearly Colin doesn't care because he didn't even react to 2 net courts in a row. But when he had to play, Zane and Megan and didn't feel like they could win, he didn't put forth the effort. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. So I think that if he thought they could win, he tried. If he didn't, then he just shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in an interesting position because I'm also a player, and then I also
and you
have
really
Jimmy.
want him to call you.
Exactly. I'm still waiting by my phone every single night. But there was a player this last week where I hit a kind of a drop shot ball, and this player missed their next ball. And Connor was joking, and he says, "That's the spot."
Yeah.
And this one specific player eyes him down for the rest of the game, and he gets very frustrated.
Who was the player?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
But he gets very frustrated at Connor for saying that one small comment. It's kind of interesting.
What team was it?
You would be able to deduce that information if I told you.
All right. So should we talk about this? Because I think this is an interesting topic. GMs and coaches
Okay,
in
yes.
MLP.
Yes.
What is it appropriate for a coach or a GM to chirp in a match at the opposing team?
I've said this every single time we talk about MLP, but I always say, what is MLP? What do you want it to be? In my opinion, this is my opinion, I do not think it's appropriate for a coach or a GM or even the owners to chirp and really interact in a negative way with the opposing team. However, if you want MLP to be entertaining, drama-filled, if you want it to have all this back and forth and everything like that, then I understand where that's coming from. But me, growing up how I did with PPA, me being almost a purist pickleball, I do not like that. Those antics.
But let me ask you this. What about just cheering for your own team?
That's 100% fine. Cheering for your own team.
And not addressing the other players, but just addressing your own team.
I think that's fine, sure.
So there's a little controversy. Mm-hmm. The Ranchers versus you guys.
Yes.
The Ranchers claim that they're addressing their own team.
Yes.
And you took offense to it.
A slight offense. People thought I was being overboard with it, but it was just a very, very, 10 is the most mad I've been. This was probably a 3.
So Ryan said, what did he say? Something like, get it or work it.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he was telling his team to get to the kitchen and work the kitchen.
And that was after a missed shot, a very easy missed dink, like a routine missed dink or something like that.
On your team.
For me, I believe.
And
Maybe
so you
Connor.
felt like that was more of a shot at you guys.
Yes.
As opposed
that wasn't
to,
the only thing. There were multiple
It's
other,
almost like partner communication, right? Team communication.
I mean, there were multiple other instances of their team saying stuff like that.
And so
players know if they play pickleball, they know what's crossing the line. They know what's going to get in the other opponent's head and everything like that.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the game in terms of like the chirping amongst players is that the players know the ones that...
I just think it's disrespectful. I think it's rude. I don't think it's right. I don't think that's how the game should be played. People always say, oh, you're so soft. You're so soft. No, I actually get more fired up when people do that stuff. When Matt does that stuff to me, I almost always get more fired up and I play well. You've played with me in rec play. Do I ever shut up in rec play?
No, you actually chirp nonstop.
Literally
nonstop.
I actually don't ever stop talking in rec play. However, in matches, in tournament matches, I rarely do it unless the other team starts it. And so if people think I'm soft or whatever, I played college tennis. I played tennis my whole life. I played basketball. Like, I'm fine. I can deal with it, but I just don't think it's how the game is meant to be played.
So there was on Shock and Awe, which is the St. Louis Shock's vlog they do. Kate Fahey said that Ryan Harwood took personal shots at her and made a bunch of comments during the match.
Yeah.
And that she was not okay with that, and that's why they started chirping and the screaming. So those things, I agree that like that's obviously not okay.
And the thing that
I don't know what he did or didn't say. I'm just that was what
if
she
that
mentioned.
did happen, then I don't think that should happen. And
Yeah.
the thing that really stood out to me is Elise. I mean, she's one of the nicest people you'll meet, and she said I was going to tell their bench to basically shut up, like stop talking. And if she's getting mad about it, then I feel like that's kind of crossing the line.
What percentage of Elise's dives are unnecessary?
99.9.
Like she could get to the ball without diving.
Well, yeah.
Right?
She's slow. That's why she's diving.
She has to dive. But if she would just run it down,
yes,
she would not only.
Yeah. And I make fun of her all the time, and she says it's in my DNA, which I get it because she did play volleyball for 20, 30 plus years.
Should she wear knee pads?
No, she should just get there quicker.
Just run to the ball.
Exactly.
Because when she does dive, she's out of position. And
funny story on Elise is, I mean, she is one of the most optimistic and positive and most
100%.
Energetic people out there. For the first time in her entire life, she took this pre-workout and she was bouncing off the walls.
Was that the video of her dancing?
Probably.
Elise, listen, Elise is hard not to like, but the diving is so unnecessary. So anyways, back to the
question. What are your thoughts on it? Because you are a GM and coach. You're a GM.
I'm a GM. I don't chirp at the other team.
You don't say anything when you're there.
No, I don't chirp at the other team. I will like comment on my own players. I will I've joked with the other team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do not sit there and I've not chirped at the other team to the point where I'm like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the spot or hit it to them.
And I don't think it's good form. But if spectators are doing it, that's a different story.
Well, spectators have that right. Like
exactly.
You pay for the ticket and you can cheer for whoever you want.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's a line that even spectators can't cross. But
yes.
But I agree with that. I think I have a good enough relationship with most players that I'm not like I'm never malicious and look, for me personally, like I'll just be very honest. I am very aware of who I am. In the pickleball space, in the sense that I'm not a pro player. I do not impact the outcome of a game, right?
Yep.
I'm not good enough. I am not skilled enough. I have insane amount of respect for how good you guys are and how just incredible.
What about Ava?
Most of you. But the incredible athletes that you are, how good you are. I mean, you guys are at the top of a freaking professional sport. It's nuts. So for me personally, I think that it shows a little bit of a lack of respect when a dude that's a 3.5 or a 4.0 or whatever they are, and they're it's the same way I coach the team the way that I coach the team. It's like I trust that they know what they're doing.
And every coach is going to be different. Some people need more positivity, more energy.
For sure. And so so what I mean by that is I don't really I'm not going to chirp at other players. I'm not going to say disparaging things to them. Well, do I like saying certain things and hyping up my team and stuff? Sure. Like that's I think that's different. But I don't think you see too often. I think it's a little bit of an outlier. I don't think you see too often that I've seen like a owner or GM literally just going at another
There's
player.
a couple teams. I mean, the Shock, they're known for that. The Fives, they're known for that. And then Ranchers are kind of borderline. Normally, I mean, most of the time, like I said, they were very low. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
And like if they're on the bench, like I have seen like, you know, benches say stuff to each other.
Oh, it was the funniest thing.
Like I did like Richie and Pablo are good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it wasn't Richie that said it. I don't even remember, but Pablo looked at our bench at one point and was like, you guys need a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in the match, like when we went on a big run, I walked over to Pablo and I was like, hey, you probably should take one.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally different.
But they're
too.
on the bench.
Exactly.
It's completely different. We're friends. Yeah.
What was absolutely comical to me is their GM sat on the cooler, and one of the guys that was with Utah sat on the cooler with him.
Oh.
And they both were kind of bigger guys. Yeah. And they were both just sitting on the cooler, like half of their body on half of it, and the other half was off of it. And none of them were saying anything. It was like just two big, strong guys next to each other, and they were both quiet when they were both right next to each other.
Did you do the strength test?
I did not. What was that?
The grip test?
No, I saw people doing it, but I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you'd be.
Yeah.
You know who, I heard a rumor.
Talk to me.
I promised I wouldn't say it. Never mind.
Say it. You can't do that.
Who do you think, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to answer, but who do you think has the lowest grip strength of all the men, and it's lower than probably 90% of the women?
Wow. What team are they on? Connor Garnett.
No, but they did play this weekend.
I don't know.
It would be, who? Okay, if you could pick any player to have the lowest grip strength of all the men by a long ways and lower than most of the women and would make me happy to see, who do you think it was?
Does his name rhyme with Mullen?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, Jalen Cons. Incredible. Like 70.
Huh.
Yeah.
I actually feel like I have a fairly strong forearms.
Do you?
I feel like it.
I think there's a little technique to it too.
Maybe. The other thing I was going to mention is, for example, this one player I talked about earlier, he was furious with Connor Garnett for saying that's the spot.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, had this one team been talking and chirping and motivating their players the same way that Connor was doing, this guy would have lost it.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's Connor Garnett. Like, getting upset at Connor Garnett is wild to me.
Yeah.
Of all the people to get upset at, Connor.
I don't know. I just think pickleball is so unique, or even more so MLP. You have people that are purists that love it, and then people that want that more raw.
This is my thought on MLP. Okay, so Kate Fahey was down 10 points in a Dream Breaker, and she gets a point, and she literally walks to the net and screams. You're down 10 points, and she walks to the net and screams, right? Her and AB were screaming at Tina and Etta.
Yeah, who are their partners?
Screaming at them. After
I just
points.
could never do. I could just never do that.
And like, I get it. And like off the court, and then Kate commentated a match, and she's the sweetest thing in the world. Like, I don't know if she literally just walks up to her fiance and she's like, F you, I hate you. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, you piece of shit. Oh, I love you. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, it feels weird to me, but some people can turn it on and off, right? Yep. Hayden used to be really good at turning it on and off. He doesn't chirp as much anymore.
He doesn't, but he's still, it's funny.
But he used to be good at turning it on and off. So what my point of that is I think that there is natural energy and like for some teams and hype, and they get their teams fired up. But then there's other teams that try to manufacture it.
Agreed.
And when they try to manufacture it, it comes off as fake and manufactured and disingenuous. And honestly, those are the ones that it's cringy. If you're manufacturing it, it's super freaking cringe. And when I watch that, that's when I'm like, what are you guys doing? Right? Like, you can't make it up. Either your team has that energy that day or that point in that moment, or they don't. And you can't, like, it just doesn't make any sense. And that's where I have the problem, is when people are faking it and they're trying to come up with this like weird energy. And I'll be really honest, I can't stand it. I think it's annoying as shit. It's one of the worst chants in all of sports, the fives chant.
It's contagious.
But it is contagious.
It is contagious.
And the fives missed Ryan Harwood on the sidelines this week.
I joined in. I'm not joking. I joined in. It was awesome.
But I'm just saying they missed him.
Yeah.
Because he brings legit, real energy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fake. I think that that's who he is.
Yeah.
And I think that he brings real energy. I think some of these other teams, like, AB and Kate are a great example. When they're down,
Blaine Hovenier.
Blaine Hovenier brings legit energy right here, right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just me complaining. And I mean, listen, I'm not going to change the sport. Like, people are still going to do whatever they want to do. I just don't think it's a good look, a good form for some of these players to do what they have been doing.
Yeah.
So
do you remember last year?
Just what I'll say, it's a tell as old as time. Treat others how you want to be treated. Because these people that scream when they're losing, if you scream at them, they don't like it.
No, of course not. Of course they don't. Well, do you remember last year? It was last year when Georgia went through this weird stretch where she was yelling all the time.
I do remember that, yeah.
And like all of a sudden, like she kind of stopped. Mm-hmm. And I think that she was trying to, but then she realized she didn't need all that.
Yeah.
That's not who she is, and she doesn't need all that. And she's a freaking great player without that. And some players do need it. Like, I've said this before, Anna Bright has to hate her opponent. Mm-hmm. She does. She's the UFC fighter that she can't fight unless she hates you.
Yeah.
She's the one that's, the lead up to the fight is going to be insane because the press conferences, she's going to throw the water bottle at your face.
Yeah.
Right? That's just who she is. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But the point is it's going to come back. Mm-hmm. So, all right.
Okay, moving on. We got to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is Vulcan Pickleball. We love the V Pro Flight. Do you know what their new slogan or tagline is, Jimmy?
No, tell me, Tyler.
Vulcan Ball, the official ball of pickleball.
Yes.
Can you say that for us?
Yeah, the official ball of pickleball.
That's great.
Tyler, guess what?
What?
I got a job.
You got some new mortgages?
I got a real job.
Are you 1099 or W-2?
Let me just say this. If you have a facility, if you have a shop, maybe, if you have a country club, a racket club, any of those things, and you need pickleballs, I am your guy.
Jimmy Miller? Are we going to put your phone number right here?
The director of wholesale of Vulcan Pickleball.
Oh, you are easily bought and paid for.
I am easily bought and paid for when I believe in something.
Wow.
So, Vulcan, hit me up. It's like a legit job. Like, I haven't had a real job in years. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, wait, what time you want me? 9 o'clock? What? Anyways, Vulcan has shifted all their focus. Like, I'm sure we all saw the press release from Forbes. Vulcan has shifted all their focus right now to the ball. Now they are going to come out with a new paddle. They're working on it, but right now they want to focus on the ball. So it is the official ball of Duper. It is the official ball of MLP.
It's the official ball of pickleball.
It's the official ball of pickleball. So if you are running a Duper tournament, you need Vulcan balls, hit me up. If you are anything that you need, we want to get this ball to the masses.
Jimmy is a master of balls.
I am very good at balls.
With balls.
Juggling balls? Can you juggle?
Multiple.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it makes sense. That feels like a useless, a useless talent you have.
Okay. Anything else with the last MLP?
No, I mean,
Daytona.
I think Daytona is Daytona. We all wish it wasn't there, but it was. It looked hot and humid.
Center court is really awesome.
Center court is cool.
And the shade structure. Hey, indoor court, shade structures.
I also loved how grandstand you had to watch through the fence because it felt like you're in prison, which is exactly what Daytona is like. So it kind of gave you the full Daytona experience. But next event, Tyler, San Clemente.
San Clemente. There's PPA and then also MLP.
San Clemente is my favorite venue.
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
So that one I'm excited about. I will be at MLP.
Yep.
I will not be at PPA.
Okay.
Because I will be at the grand opening of the Lehigh Pickler.
I'll be at PPA, but I'll also be at the grand opening.
And I will be wearing this shirt. Daytona Beach.
Okay, Jimmy,
Yes.
Talk to us real quick about Holey Performance.
Holey Performance. I'm not sure if you saw Ben Johns during one of his matches that he did try, but Mish McMahon, one of our favorites, shout out Mish, happy wedding. I think she's going on a honeymoon soon. Said it looked like Ben was participating in a wet t-shirt contest.
Yep.
He had a white shirt on, and it was completely see-through.
Yeah.
You could see his breast assists. Ben needed electrolytes. When you sweat, when it's hot, when it's humid, you got to replenish.
Yep.
And you can't just replenish with water. You need all the vitamins, the nutrients, the minerals that your body is sweating out. Holey Performance provides that. HoleyPerformance.com. Use code KOTC. It's better than a wet t-shirt contest. What can I say?
They've been with us for quite some time. We have an exclusive limited edition flavor with them, white gummy. Go check it out. It supports us and it's incredible. It replenishes all the nutrients that you lose when sweating. We are in the summer months right now as we speak, so everywhere it's going to be hot. Stay in shape, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and go use Holey Performance and use code KOTC. Thank you, Holey, for the support. All right, anything else, Jimmy?
No, question.
Okay,
question time.
Let's get into questions.
All right, I have a question from a guy who usually sends in some wild questions.
Okay.
Wild ones. And he said, my question is actually a serious question. Okay.
Okay.
When Tyler.loong retires,
Wow.
what will his next career be, and what age does he plan on retiring?
Wow. We're getting personal here.
I thought that was a pretty...
Am I at a job interview right now?
Pretty good question.
Yeah. So, I mean, pickleball, as we all know, changes weekly. It feels like it changes very, very, very fast. And so it's hard to make all these plans. But I think realistically, I'm not naive to think I'm always going to be able to compete at the top. I think I might have another 3 to 4 years left in me.
I like that.
And then, I mean, I love pickleball. I've been involved in some businesses within pickleball, and I'd love to stay a part of the game because I enjoy it so much, and I feel like I've been able to have some experience. And so I don't know, maybe some MLP capacity or PPA capacity helping out there, or a new startup company. I'd like to be involved in pickleball. I think there's a lot of people that would like to be involved in pickleball, but me with my playing experience and being in the industry for 10, 15 years is pretty significant. And so that's a good question. I don't think I would play professionally past 40. I'm 33 right now.
You don't want people to be like, he's near 50.
Exactly. He's near 40.
He's near 40.
I'm near 35. Actually, funny. Some guy, I'm assuming he listens to the pod, came up to me last week in Daytona, and he said, Hey, Tyler, how old is Matt Wright?
Oh, see.
And I said, I think he's nearly 50.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
That's actually funny.
Okay, was that good, or do I need to expand anymore?
That's a great question. I had a guy come up to me, that NJP, and that junior pickleball, and he walked up and he goes, Hey, like this. So he's just like, Hey. And I was like, hey, and like, you get people approaching, they watch the pod, they just approach you like they know you. I like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey. And then he goes, hey, and he sticks his hand out. He goes, my name is whatever. I didn't remember. Wow. And I was like, hey, yeah, nice to meet you. And then he like holds my hand for a minute and he goes, what's your name? And I said, oh, it's Jimmy. And he's like, oh, but I thought he was approaching me, like the way he said it, it was like he knew who I was. And he was like, anyways, I was like, oh, sorry, hi.
Getting trolled.
It felt like, anyways.
Okay. All right. Jim Kloss messaged me this morning and said, 3 tweeners in one game? Are you trying to steal Alshon's nickname?
Wow. I'm just more surprised Jim Kloss knows how to text. I assume he has an Android.
All right. Let's get into questions. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Alcaraz versus Sinner. Who would make a better pickleball transition?
So that's interesting. I watched that whole match, 5 hours plus. I did have pickleball on as well. I think that Sinner's length would probably put him over the edge, but I feel like Alcaraz has better pickleball strokes right now, oddly enough. But I think I'm going to say Sinner. Just that 6'3" length is going to be his advantage.
Okay. Why does Ryan Sherry want to play Annalise so badly in singles? Besides money, what does he stand to gain?
Oh, I think he was trying to do it for charity.
Well, yeah, I mean, the donations would have gone there. I think he just likes the exposure. I think
it's exposure. It's just something that's fun, that's funny. The problem is Annalise had 0 to gain. Win or lose, she doesn't. If she wins, you're like, okay, I expect that you're the number 1 player in the world. If she loses, it's like, oh, men are better than women, and so she has nothing to gain. The same reason that all these people are like, AL should play in men's doubles. How far would her and Ben go? She has 0 to gain by doing that, ever.
Has Tyler thought about incorporating the 2-hand backhand roll drop for a third? Yes, about a year ago, I was actually using it a decent amount, but I kind of reverted back to the slice drop for the third shot drop. The backhand roll for a drop, it's very effective if done right, but the margin of error is much lower than a third shot drop.
You love that backhand slice drop.
Yeah. Why do the Waters fire Annalise's bodyguard?
I'm not really sure. Maybe he just quit. It feels like that's a tough job to just drive a bus around. And, maybe Scott had a family. Maybe I actually have no idea. But I bet they really miss his barbecue.
Will PPA stop using medals and just have a champion? No one cares who is third. The person who's getting third cares.
Yeah, I actually think that there's a very real chance next year that bronze medal goes away.
I don't think so.
I think bronze matches are dead.
No.
That's my prediction.
I don't think so.
And they just split the
point. think they start doing bronze medal on Saturday instead of Sunday.
Okay. That's a bare minimum, but it wouldn't shock me if they goes away and they split the points.
Why does Annalise's mom dress up in full uniform for MLP games? She's ready to sub in.
She is. I think a lot of people do. I think it's kind of like the manager in a baseball game that wears the full uniform.
So she's the coach, right?
She is the coach. Yeah. There hasn't really been like PPA doesn't have like a, like baseball, right? The manager wears a uniform. Basketball, the coach usually wears like a suit, right? Football, they kind of wear whatever, they kind of wear hoodies and all sorts of things on the sidelines, right?
Should we start getting GMs to wear suits to
team gear?
Pickleball?
Yeah, and I think
that would be pretty.
Yeah, and I don't
classy.
think that MLP really has anything like that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them either just wear team gear or they just wear like a full uni.
Yeah. All right. Everyone always talks about.
I have a shirt. I have a Black Bear shirt with my name on the back.
Everyone talks about James Ignatowicz. Somebody said, "Does he have a?" Do you want to read that or no?
Yeah. Does James Ignatowicz have... Yeah, I'll read it. Who cares? Does James have substance abuse / addiction issues, or is he just weird? I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not James. But one thing I will confirm is he is weird.
James is great. I actually really like James. He is very weird, but he does not get involved in the drama. He
lived it for a year and a half with AB.
You could say whatever you wanted about him, and he would still show up. He'd still talk to you. He'd still do whatever. It's all pickleball. It's all business with him.
Yeah, I agree.
I really respect that.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's weird. It is what it is, but aren't we all in our own little way?
No.
No, we are. We're all somewhere out there.
Somebody said, what is it about center court in Daytona that brings out the best in Tyler, a.k.a. the real tweener king?
3 tweeners.
I like that center court. That center court that's how every center court should be with the spacing.
Everyone loves your tweeners. Were they necessary or were they showboating?
So I did 3 in one game. I think 2 of the 3 were necessary. One of them
was showboating?
Well, I could have just gotten around it.
Like Elise's dives?
Yeah.
Makes sense. You guys are the same person. Is Elise stronger than you?
No, not a chance.
Did you go swimming with Elise in the ocean? And Jeannie? Did you get in?
I did not. I did not want to go there. Oh, they actually had a funny / scary story. There was like a very suspicious group of people next to them.
That's weird in Daytona?
Exactly. And the cops actually came over there, and the cops asked the group to leave, like Elise and
I'm shocked.
yeah.
I'm absolutely shocked.
Okay, this is actually a good question. Jimmy, give me a 30-second spiel on why someone should be invested in MLP Challenger.
I think Challenger is the future of the sport. So I think that every league has what we like to call a feeder league or a feeder system. It's like minor league baseball. It's like college football, right? These are the future pros, and you want to get in early. You want to get out and get ahead of it, and you want to get in early. And Gabe Tardio was a former Challenger MVP. Mm-hmm. Christian Alshon is a former Challenger MVP.
So
right?
I was talking to somebody very high up at MLP, and we were talking about the Challenger Premier. And you've said this before, but within probably 2 years, there won't be a Challenger format.
No, there won't.
So what will be Challenger in 2 years once everything gets combined?
I think it'll be minor league.
Minor league.
Yeah, I think so. They have this road to minors that they're doing, where basically each team has a team, and you can basically play these mini tournaments and try out, and you get to make their minor league team. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to have minor league, which is, as people know, duper 16, 18, 20s, 22s. And then I think that at some point, everybody's going to have a minor league team, and you're going to have players on it. And hopefully that's where you pull your subs and things from. Mm-hmm. I think that would be really cool, right? To pull them from your duper 22 team.
I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's great. I love seeing when teams have an injury or something, they pull from their reserve, which is how it was
and then
intended.
you have like a full organization.
Yeah. Tyler, who do you think you specifically match up well against on tour? That's a good question. There's a lot of questions towards me this time, but I would say
they like you.
The ones that I don't match up well with are the ones that are ultra aggressive all the time. So, for example, Will Howells, he speeds up a ton. Eric Onsens, he can speed up a ton. Those types of players I normally struggle with against a little bit more than even Ben Johns. I feel like I do fairly well with. All these other players, it's just kind of a style I would say that I probably don't do as well with.
Will was pulling that Tui down the line over and over and over against you.
He got one or two that were really clean, and then the other ones, I was there, I just missed them. But yeah, he was lighting me up down the line. Yeah. All right.
I talked to Will after your match.
Nice.
He said, one game doesn't define us.
There you go. So like should you be a top 10 player if one game doesn't define you?
No, I mean, it just depends. But I like that. I like that perspective.
Yeah, and that's what I have always said in regards to.
You got 25 matches in a season.
Exactly.
But it goes both ways, right?
Yes. No, 100%. And that's what I've always said with these rankings of these newer players that are just breaking through and they have one or two good tournaments. I said, I want to see consistency.
Brendan Long.
Exactly.
That's a great example, isn't it? Him and Tyson.
Who are your current picks for MVPs for both Premier and Challenger?
Oh, this is a good one. So I think it'd be really hard to pick anybody. I'll give you my top three, okay? In Premier, okay. I think that it'd be really hard to pick anybody in Premier besides Georgia right now.
Okay.
I mean, they're undefeated, right? She's got the best record, I believe. So I got to go Georgia number one. Number two, I actually think he is having a phenomenal year. And so I think that Gabe Tardio is my number two. And then I'm going to go with you think it's a dark horse. It's not really a dark horse. I think Jade is three.
Okay.
I think Jade, she's 21-7 right now and just crushing. In Challenger, we've only played 5 matches. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you can really choose. In Challenger, I think Travis has actually been really good, but his team's in last place. Mm-hmm. Pablo is probably
It's got to be Pablo right now.
Probably Pablo right now.
He's on the winning team and has a great record.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, somebody said, is Utah practicing singles? Tyler and Connor do great, but the women leave a lot to be desired. I mean, it is what it is. That's the beauty of MLP, the Dream Breakers. I mean, you get a lot of players that have never played singles, play singles in the Dream Breaker, and some people love that and some people don't like that. Yeah, so actually our women have done fairly well, I would say. in the Dream Breakers, Elise and Jeannie. Okay, let's see. What kind of courts will be used at the PPA at the Las Vegas Convention Center?
I assume if it's a convention center, they got to be the Acrotech roll-on ones.
Okay, this is a good question. I know PPA is going to do results based on contracts with greater prize money. Could MLP do a similar approach?
Wait, say that one more time.
Can MLP do a similar approach to prize money like PPA does in the future?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the plan. I don't know if they can do a similar approach in terms of like individually. But I think that they do want to make it strictly like you'll get a little bit of appearance fee, but then it's going to be prize money based. A mid-season tournament's already that way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, you could get really technical with this, but would every player on the same team receive the same amount? For example, if you're playing number one singles, should you receive a little bit more than?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Like, I think it would be cool to have so it would be easier if the league would distribute it that way as opposed to having each team distribute it that way. But yeah, also like, you look at say the player standings, and the player that's the highest in the standings gets 35%. Down to 15%. You know what I'm saying? If it went like 35, 25, 20, 15. Like that stuff could incentivize players to try harder, so to speak.
At what point will the teams start paying players directly rather than the league?
So we thought, I'll be very honest with you, we thought that was going to be the case.
After talking to this person, it doesn't sound like it will be the case.
No. I think it's going to be, I think we have a long ways to go for that to ever happen, because it also would require the league to relinquish a lot of power and a lot of control over the players. But we thought it was going to be a like legit free agency model. This was during Tour Wars. And we actually had lined up a pretty sick team.
Really?
Yeah. We had lined up.
Who would it have been? So
and I'll just say that players who said that they would commit to us, we had Tyra, Jackie, and Dylan all committed. And then we were going after either like Fed or...
So this was during the Tour Wars.
This was during Tour Wars.
You were team MLP.
I wasn't team MLP, but
you were recruiting players.
They had already signed, first of all.
Interesting.
And I was working with the Black Bears.
Do you hear that, PPA?
Yeah.
This guy right here was team MLP.
And I was working with the Black Bears. And so the whole point of it was... we thought it was going to be like legit, like straight free agency. And so that was kind of the team that we were putting together.
Okay, 2 more questions. Somebody said, what do you think of the MLP strategy of playing bench players against lower tier teams?
I like it. I'm going to say this right now. I think that it was funny that the Ranchers women lost. I just thought that was funny. But I actually really like it, because I think that the whole point of is to develop these players. And if you're obviously taking a little bit of a risk, but at the end of the day, Michael Lloyd got valuable experience. Helena Jansen went 3-1. She got great experience, right? You got to rest. They rested Etta for the night match against the Mad Drops, and Etta and Tina, whether it was because Etta was well rested or not, they beat the Mad Drops women who had won like 9 in a row. So yeah, I don't hate it at all. Like, I think that I actually think it's really smart. Now, it could backfire and there could be repercussions there, but I mean, that's what they're there for. Like, they're actually using your bench.
Yep. Okay. Last question we'll do. How much did Brooks get for the racket testing machine?
That's a good question. Who's that from?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Brooks was at MLP. I'm just saying, Austin. I don't know. He slid into the back of that truck.
Steve Kuhn.
Oh.
Okay. Anything else, Jimmy?
No, I'm pumped for San Clemente. We'll do a little preview on that for the next pod.
Yes. Real quick, which we forgot to advertise this in the beginning, but we also, Jimmy and myself, King of the Courts, we also just opened up a new CAMEO. And so if anybody is interested in getting a personalized message from myself, Jimmy, or both of us,
Yeah.
The description, the link will be in the description down below. I think we're charging $100 for a video.
Are we? Or
We
50?
are. I upped it because somebody asked me to do something, and I was like, I'm not going to do that for $50.
What did they ask?
Me to say this one person that I do not like is the best player in the world.
Oh. Not right?
No, it was somebody else.
Oh.
It was a troll.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm not going to do that for $50.
Oh, I do that for $50.
I mean, you guys can send in some pretty crazy requests, like tell Jimmy to
don't give him ideas. Just it's cool. I would prefer to just give your grandma a birthday shout out. Old women love me. Okay.
Yes, go check it out. CAMEO, search KOTC, and we will be making some videos, hopefully.
Let's do it.
Okay,
All right.
anything else, Jimmy?
No, that's it. But MLP waiver wire is this week. I think we see some moves. I think we see some trades. I think we see some active teams.
Okay. If you made it this far, please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.